name is Dr. Tisha Evans and
Carson Raquel.
And we want to welcome you to Be Well, a show created by Your Therapy Now. So what we've done is we've collected some fabulous questions from our social media supporters, and we want to take time today to address those questions. The questions are all related to communication and how you can have better communications with those that are in your life. So I'm going to hit Ms. Carson up here with some questions and get her thoughts, because these are some real questions, right? So the first question that we got was, how do you communicate with someone who has low emotional intelligence? And now remember, you had spoken about emotional intelligence during one of our shows, and you broke it down really, really well.
Thank you. How you communicate? You block them. No, but seriously, the way that you communicate with anyone who you would perceive to be maybe a little lower than yourself, and I don't mean that to say that people who have low emotional intelligence are beneath you, but I'm saying, like, imagine if you were speaking to, and don't talk to them like a child. This is an example. If you're talking to a child, there's an understanding that a child has and an understanding that a child does not have until they are taught. And so if you can recognize that in a child, when you're trying to explain something to them, you have to be able to speak in a language that they understand. It's the same when it comes to someone who maybe does not have the same level of understanding as you. So if I'm talking to someone who does not recognize or understand their emotions, then I have to be willing to come to a space to be able to help to even give them a language. If you've experienced some things and entered into a space emotionally that you've never been into, you may not have the language to communicate how you are feeling or be able to express yourself in a way that's healthy or conducive to a healthy conversation. Being the person on the other side who does have a level of understanding of those emotions, you can ask questions. Is it, well, are you feeling like this? Does it hurt here? Was it something that I said? How did this make you feel? That can prompt them to be able to come up with a language. I've done it before. I don't know how I'm feeling. I'm just, well, is it frustration? Well, what are you frustrated about? Will you be willing to talk to me? Giving them space and freedom. Well, do you want to take a break? Let's pause in the conversation for a little bit. You can even offer someone some water. Just offering a person who is upset some water can give them a moment to calm down and breathe. And water does something to the body and brain and mind. It's just like, okay, I have clarity now. So being able to talk to someone who has a lower emotional intelligence, you would have to, one, humble yourself and have the ability to give them grace and understanding that, hey, you might not be here yet, but I'm willing. And just that willingness will help the person who is trying to communicate with you be more willing to communicate with you.
I really appreciate what you said about being humble and then also to giving grace and being patient, right? That requires a lot of patience to say, hey, I'm going to work with you. And also something you said that really stood out is your expectations, right? Being able to recognize, not in a judgmental way, that this person, this is where they're at. And so I can keep, going head to head with them, but I have to maybe step back and say, you know what, they're not there yet. And maybe reframe or adjust my expectations of what they're able to do. This
is the language I did not have when I was trying to communicate with you. Yes, readjust.
No, the language you had was perfect, right? That's what I got from you. So perfect, okay? All right, so you're talking about, so you gave us some skills on how to talk to people who have a different emotional intelligence as you. Now, help our folks out there understand, say for instance, if you are trying to speak to someone who has a completely different agenda than you. So you're coming in with it like, hey, we're going to talk about X, Y, and Z, and they over there with the agenda of A, B, C. How do you navigate that?
I think in one of our episodes, you mentioned how maybe it was in the derailing conversation where you spoke about, well, this is what I'm putting on the table, and the other person put something else on the table, and your statement was, well, we can come back to that, but this is what I want to speak about right now. And I'm not saying that the person who has another agenda is derailing. I'm saying that there's space for, we can come back to this, So I see that you want to talk about this, and I want to talk about this. Can we speak about my A first, and then we talk about your X first, after that? And so we can get to a common ground that says, I care about what you care about too. I just want you to be willing to care about what I care about. And we can come together and communicate in a healthy way where both of our needs are met.
Oh, that's nice. So being able to really set the agenda. Sounds like what I'm hearing you say. Set the agenda of like, what we gonna talk about, right? Okay, now say you have your agenda and you have your agenda, but I'm not interested at all in hearing about your agenda, right? Like, one question we got is, how do you stay engaged, or how do you communicate maybe when your spouse or your significant other is talking about something that you have absolutely zero interest in? Like, how do you get through that and, at least appear that you're engaged? Well, that's hard to do, right? If you're not interested.
Well, one way to appear engaged is to not have anything else going on. So maybe not having a phone or, computer up in front of you, or the TV, possibly. And there are going to be times in life in general when you just absolutely do not care about anything that this person is talking about. But there's a space that says, if I'm in a relationship with someone, whether it's a friend, a sister, a significant other, if I'm in a relationship, there is a space for love. And with love means that I have to be willing to put myself aside in order to get you to where you need to be. And I might not care about what you're talking about. Absolutely not. Nope. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm bored. I was watching a good show. And you interrupted. But there's a space that says, if I'm willing to communicate with you, can you be loving enough to receive me in my communication? So how do you do it? Take yourself off the table, okay, right now, and I'm going to give you space. You might only have to give them 10 minutes of your time, and then they felt loved and heard. But if you decided to brush them off, then now you've created a whole nother issue to where if you would have listened to my boring conversation for 10 minutes, we would not be in the argument that we're in now, communicating unhealthily and throwing the kitchen sink at each other. I'm just tying things in. But there comes a time when you just have to say, I'm willing. Like I said before, be willing. You don't have to care. I don't think that the person communicating necessarily cares if you truly care about what they care about. They just have to know that you care about them enough to listen.
Yes. Oh, I love how you tie that into listening. So one of our social media supporters, she had a bright spot. We asked what things, people may have questions around, but also too what things people are doing well. And she brought up being an active listener. And so she shared that being an active listener is successful, or helps you have successful communication, because it builds trust, it reduces chances of misunderstanding and conflict, and also too, it creates an environment where people want to open up more. So I love it. Even though you may not be interested in the topic, you can show love to that person by being an active listener. That's great. That's really good. So we have just thoroughly enjoyed our series of communication, and we hope that you have too. Please know that if you're finding you have more questions about this, or you're needing more support about how can I build up my communication skills, visit yourtherapynow.com. We are here to support you. It is therapy designed for you, your life, and your goals. So check us out on our website, and also too on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Ooh, we are on social media, people.
Yes.
So also engage with us. If this has helped you, like the video, comment on the video, share the video. If you don't feel comfortable sharing it to your page personally, then share it to someone's inbox. If you had a quote that you liked, go ahead and quote us. Quote. No plagiarism. Okay? So let everyone know about these videos. We'll have more coming up, and we look forward to you seeing us again. Be well.